morning, everybody. Welcome back to Coffee and Lore. I am so excited to be here with you guys. I am so sorry that I only had one video last week, but it was my birthday. Yay me! And I took a little bit of time off from reading and everything just to relax and enjoy the people around me as much as I could during this quarantine, because man, this thing is vicious. It's taken a lot of joyful things from me this year that we'll talk about or we won't talk about. But anywho, let's talk about what you're actually here for, and that's the books. So what are we talking about today? We are talking about those amazing coming of age stories. Those ones that you read that maybe you were, a teen, early teen, maybe even a late teen, and you read them a little later, and they just kind of opened up windows for you and you were like, wow, I'm not alone in these feelings or this body or whatever it is. And I have 3 that I want to talk about that were just incredible and left a huge impact on my life. So the first one we're going to talk about, of course, is the famous girls book, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. And whether you're religious or not, it's a really, really good book about a girl who is coming into her own and coming into puberty. It's all about her wanting to get her period, essentially. And all of her friends are getting them, and she's really stressed out about it. She's talking to God about it, about these feelings that she's having about boys, as well as wanting to get her period so she doesn't feel left out. She lies about it at one point to her friends, and there's a big thing where she feels like she's alone in the world because she hasn't gotten this special thing that she wants and everyone else around her has it. And she finds out that in her own time she will grow into her own body, into her own person. And it is a really incredible book that I really highly recommend for, girls probably as young as 10 and as old as 13, 14. I can remember reading it probably a little bit older, 13, 14, 15, something like that, and really still getting it and remembering those feelings I had had previously. The second book that I'm going to talk about is called Capture the Wind for Me, and it is by Brandy Lynn Collins. And it is a really, really good book. I was talking to a friend actually about this book recently, and it reminded me of how much I loved it. And so it is the 3rd book in a series of this Bradleyville town. I have not read the first 2 books. So this 3rd book was a modern book. I believe the other 2 took place in the past. The same family, leading up to this girl's story. And the present book, which was the 3rd book, took more control in my life. It spoke to me more. So it's called Capture the Wind for Me. And it is about this teenage girl. She's 16. Her name is Jackie. And her mother has passed away, and she has 2 younger siblings, and she lives with her father, obviously, because her mother has passed away. And it's all about her coming into herself as a 16-year-old. She has to kind of run the household, take care of her other younger siblings, because her dad's working all the time. And then her dad gets a girlfriend who wants to kind of step into the shoes of, the mom. And she's got to deal with that, as well as she meets a musician. Let's just call him a musician so I don't give the whole book away, who's rather famous. And they fall in love, and it's quite the story. It's really, really good, and it's really, really about coming into your own, as well as love and loss. A lot of loss in this book, so definitely have your tissues ready for this one. But it's a great story. The 3rd book we're going to talk about is more lighthearted, and it's a little funny. I remember reading it probably 6th or 7th grade. And it is called Who Let the Girls in the Boys' Locker Room? And it is by, of course, y'all know already, I can't see, Elaine Moore. So Elaine Moore's Who Let the Girls in the Boys' Locker Room. Really comically well done, but it is another story that's also around that age frame. I want to say junior high school, and it's in a small town, and these 3 girls love basketball, love playing basketball, watching basketball, talking about basketball. Everything in their life revolves around basketball. Well, this small town has to get rid of their girls' basketball team because there's not enough money for it, and there's just not enough girls interested in playing, and they have to make cuts. So they have to have a co-ed team. So these girls have to learn how to be friends with boys in an age where that is not something that's pretty common. And I absolutely love this one if you're looking for something a little lighter. So this one's not a serious undertone as the first two that I talked about. It's just about junior high school and boys and trying to be their friends and find a common ground, which it's really hard to at that age between boys and girls. I'm really lucky that my daughter has a best friend who is a boy. My daughter's 11 and her best friend is a boy. And they get along great. There's no issues. It may come, in a couple of years. But right now, she can meet him on his level. He can meet her on her level, which is amazing. So those are the 3 coming of age books that I really loved and meant a whole lot to me as I grew up. I'd love to hear down in the comments about what books changed your youth or made you feel like you weren't alone at a very tender age of that early teen, tween age. Comment down below. I'd love to hear about it. On that note, I'm so excited to be back with you guys. You can look forward to another video this week, hopefully, as long as I can get back into a good groove. What are you guys reading?